Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis. Up top to talk about the challenge. Season 38 is Michelle. How are you today, Michelle?
I'm good. It was a good episode for hookups.
It was a good episode for hookups.
That was like 1, 2, 3 punch. Like it's just like, here you go.
Yes.
So that was exciting for me. I really enjoyed this episode. But I will say, like, I didn't love watching the elimination. I honestly had to look away for most of it. It was hard for me to watch.
We will
but
get to
otherwise,
there.
enjoyable rest of the episode.
Amazing. And Scuba Matthew is in the building.
Yeah, I had to change the name to celebrate tonight. But,
I just noticed.
I actually somewhat disagree. I thought this was a little bit of a weaker episode for me. I mean, it was kind of as I pictured it going, which I think is just kind of frustrating me a little bit. But glad that you enjoyed it, Michelle. Not my favorite episode.
It wasn't. Definitely not one of my faves. But like, there were some good moments.
Yeah, I think when a mastermind like Nelson gets into power, sometimes it can be a bit of a dud, a bit predictable. But if it only happens every 54 episodes,
it's like 8 years.
I think we can manage.
Every 8 years, we get a Nelly rating. Well, Sophie's here. Sophie thinks that this was a great episode. I think that it was pretty fun to watch. I think that I'm really just enjoying this season. I was worried that with bringing in right at the beginning of the episode Darrell and Veronica, that it was going to become even more predictable than it actually was. Now, every week I do another recap for the challenge with Drew from Angel Cake Entertainment, and we were trying to figure out, because we're doing it at an earlier time, and we wanted to figure out who we should have in the thumbnail. And I did get the right people in the thumbnail. We got Nerys and Nelson in the thumbnail. We got Olivia and Horacio, and we got Darrell and Veronica. So we knew that those were going to be the 3 big players this particular episode. So yes, I agree with you a little bit on the predictability, but it didn't fully go the way that I thought it was going to go. It had a little bit, it was a little more nuanced. It was a little bit more like, oh, we're going to try something. A little bit more game and strategy happened. So it satisfied me, but it wasn't my favorite, for sure. So Sophie says TJ even made fun of Nelson for finally winning after 54 losses. I mean, it was the running gag. We were wondering whether or not he would either just continue the season without a win, or if he would get one throughout it. So.
And we did say last week when we saw the preview, like, hey, if they're going to win something, like this is kind of the perfect challenge for them to win. It's like, you don't have to do much, just like strength, kind of fluky. And hey, they were one of 2 teams to get it done. So
absolutely. So let's just start at the beginning. We hear about, Shorty V. I didn't know that she had a nickname with Darrell, but Darrell and Shorty V turn up. Darrell won his first challenge with Veronica. And then Amber gets a confessional. So I was like, is this like a red herring? Is she going to be involved in like the elimination? I'm like,
I definitely had that thought at the beginning. I was like, okay, why are they talking about her? And I'm like, well, she does have a connection to Darrell, so maybe it's just that. And I was like, but maybe she thinks, like, at first I was like, what if she assumes he's going to protect her, but then Veronica convinces him, like they win, and Veronica convinces him to put her up as one of the options, which honestly probably would have happened.
Yeah.
There's definitely a chance it could have happened.
Absolutely.
But then once I saw what the challenge was, I was like, Darrell and Veronica aren't winning this, so I don't think that's what's happening.
Not at all. Did you guys know that Veronica has the most daily wins out of anyone?
Yeah, that surprised me because she has definitely not been on the most seasons of anyone. I would have thought Bananas or CT or Wes even.
You got to think about the fact that like
teams
back in the day when it was like badasses versus good guys, like
That's
2 big
true.
teams, whatever, she was on the winning side a lot in those types of seasons. And so I think she just racked up a lot of dailies now. And now it's harder to get many dailies than it used to be.
Yeah, you get like 3 a season, 5 a season would be a lot kind of thing. So
she could have won 10 in one season. Like, I don't even remember. But like, I think that's probably why.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. But I was shocked by that stat. I was like, okay, did not know that. I love that Veronica was with them though when he won his first challenge final. Oh my gosh, I'm like losing my mind. I thought that was pretty cool. She won 4 in a row. Did I also hear that stat?
He won 4 in a row.
He did. She's won 3.
Okay.
Same as Cara. Her and Cara are tied.
Still impressive. So I know it was a different game back then, but hey man, a win's a win, especially in this season. Or in this game. So Amber now has Chauncey, obviously, as her ride or die, and Darrell is somebody that she worked really well with, who she even says taught her how to play the game. So I was happy that she was recognizing that she has some power in numbers here, and like she has people that she trusts in this game who are good physically.
She's playing, I mean, maybe it's because she hasn't won anything yet to mess it up, but she's playing well for her. Like I'm impressed by the fact that she's not stirring things up. She's not really making things about her the way everyone says she always does, and maybe she has a little bit in the past. She's definitely keeping a pretty low profile. Maybe we're just not seeing everything, but like it seems like there's a lot of other stuff going on and she's just kind of hiding under the surface. Like the fact that rookie and vets are not going after her team when she's not loved by the vets and she's not loved by the rookies necessarily. Well, I guess the rookies do really like her, but it's like the vets aren't throwing her in yet. So I don't know. She's in a good place for now. So I'm mildly impressed by that.
Yeah, I mean, Chauncey did refer to her as queen of the rookies tonight.
Yeah.
So I think there's 2 rookie teams left. I think kind of the issue that she might face soon is if everyone else sees her as queen of the rookies, then when they have to put in 2 vet teams even as soon as next week, she could be one of those kind of more expendable. Her and Chauncey could be more expendable, especially now that Nelson kind of did the chalk move here and put all rookies essentially in, like all the easy picks in, might have saved Nelson and Aris a week. So I would be slightly concerned for probably Jay and Michelle more than Amber. I do agree, like Amber is she's quieter. She's like situated a little bit better than a Jay and Michelle, but I think next week and the week following are going to be very telling for like all these middle teams.
Absolutely, which will be interesting, hopefully. Even though I kind of feel like they're going to side with the vets, but if they don't, that will be quite fun, especially if they win some power.
Yeah, my biggest fear is they do some sort of like bullshit twist like they did last season where it gets to the point where like all the rookies are out and then they're like, oh, it's an individual game now. So now all the other rookies can just go home without their vet partners. That's my concern. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that again, but I would be very upset because I do like the format a lot this season. So I hope they don't change it.
So far, I'm really enjoying the format, but there's another time this episode where I was worried about them maybe changing the format at some point. So we will get to it shortly. So did you notice, anybody else roll their eyes like I did when Darrell says to Fessy when they're all lined up in the zone, he's like, hey, how you doing, man? And he's like, oh, just winning dailies, you know the drill.
Yeah, it was pretty cringe.
Did you roll your eyes, Michelle?
He's always cringe. I try not to listen when he speaks, to be honest.
I did roll my eyes at that point.
I don't need to hear him say, I was just getting to know Colleen like another 500 times. Like I don't need to hear it.
Her. I really like
care.
her, I'm a lover. So Nani thinks that people are going to go for Veronica and Darrell because they haven't been here in a while. I thought it was kind of like an out of place confessional. I don't think you really needed to have that in there. Why do you think that they had to like telecast that like that's the reason why they're going in? Like I thought it was not necessary.
Yeah, also considering like Nani and Bananas also joined late. So, and Jordan and Anissa also joined late. So maybe it's like foreshadowing like something down the road where Veronica and Darrell might be a little bit less insulated. But yeah, I thought it was weird considering they're not the only team to join late.
Absolutely. And why do you need to have it in the episode, especially if they're part of the drama of the episode. I thought it was just like, oh, okay, so that's probably what's gonna happen. Like, I just didn't think that it was so on the nose, and I didn't think it needed to be there at all. And if they did need to be there, they could have put that confessional way later.
Yeah.
So Veronica back at the house is saying to Darrell, like, you could sleep on the bottom bunk. I know you're afraid of heights. They're going to be working on his fear of heights this season. We also learned that Darrell does not want to stay with Tori because Tori farts a lot. Is that a thing? Because she was like, do people know that that's a thing? I didn't.
I didn't know either, but, you know.
We learn something new every day, even though we're experts, you know? So Tommy and Annalise are having a heart-to-heart with Olivia and Horacio, and they're just not really good at, well, actually Nelson called it out, owning their shit and apologizing. They kind of just like making excuses and like, we didn't know what to do, and like we had no other options, and like we were stuck with rock and hard. Like, no, just say I was afraid of the vets. And I wanted the vets to be happy with the decision that I made, so I threw you guys in. I'm sorry. Like, it was self-preservation. They still will probably get thrown in or whatever by them, but like, you don't need to pretend like, you suck. You couldn't make a decision. It was so hard for you. Like, no. I don't think they bought it anyways either.
No, they obviously didn't buy it. They weren't reacting well to it. They weren't owning it, and yeah, just poor social strategy. Poor social strategy.
And Olivia is calling shots, saying like they're about to see what a lie around here will do. She's just definitely calling.
Olivia's living this episode. Just living.
Isn't that what it's called, this episode?
Living on the edge?
It's living on the edge, yeah. So she is living this episode. Devin thinks that Tommy and Annalise are panicking, which they are. I think we talked about this before, but when Tommy was on that Big Brother sequester a couple years ago, and he just like, he never owned his moves, I was just like, I don't want to watch you play. It's not fun to see someone just like, oh, like, so like, I'm so sorry. Like, even though they're not actually sorry. Anyways, I'm just complaining about Tommy, but yeah. Do you want to see him come back?
I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I won't be mad about it to give him another opportunity, but I don't think he will get at. Like, I don't know.
Well, like, TJ did say, I really hope to see you both back.
Yeah, I think that like I would, if I could pick between like him and Corey Lay, I would pick Corey Lay. Right. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not like, oh no, Tommy's back. Like, I would be fine with him being back. I don't mind his personality, and I would have liked to see him do something that uses his specific skill set that other people wouldn't have. That could have been helpful, and it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see any of that,
or something where you can be fast and agile.
Something balancy. I don't know what it is, but like whatever. But is what it is.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's like just looking at like the last couple seasons alone, there's been a lot of strong male competitors, not even just competitors, but characters as well, that I'd way rather see back and I think would be asked back. Like Huey, for example, will be back before Tommy. Kells, Corey Lay, Huey, Johnny this season, Horacio. Like, I mean, there's only so many spots if they keep bringing back all these vets. So I know TJ seems to be open to Tommy coming back, but I think when it all comes down to it, we probably won't see him again. Yeah,
we'll pass here. How did you feel about Horacio talking to Laurel with his shirt off? She was drooling. I think she actually drooled. Like, she's just like,
I love it. Even though I know based on previews it's not gonna go to a great place, they didn't show them hooking up yet, right?
No.
So it's moving slow, and I don't know, I'm not opposed to it.
Me neither.
But looks like it's probably gonna end up getting messy, which Laurel, I mean, killing it. She always hooks up with like such great athletes on the show. Like,
she does know how to pick them, to be fair. She finds him to be too cute, and she's like, it's not my fault. So cute. So we know that there's going to be some hookup points there. Who has him again? Them?
I think I have Horacio and Olivia, yeah.
And Michelle, you have Laurel? I'm assuming.
Yes. I believe so.
Yeah, I think you end up getting a lot of hookups, if I'm not mistaken. So we see Chauncey thinking that Amber is the leader of the rookies. And I was like, interesting that he's come to this assessment because we haven't really seen that yet. And then cut to a scene with Olivia, Nerys, Amber, and Michelle all kind of coming together, talking about like, we need to work together, go after the bets. Like, this is our time. We need to do this. So we were predicting this from preseason that she needed to do this.
Mhm.
So it's nice to see that it could possibly happen. She just needs to win some power.
Yeah.
So we can see if it actually
Exactly.
pans out.
Exactly.
So what was with that bonfire scene? That was very not challenged from what I remember.
I didn't care for it.
It just kind of highlights like I know it wasn't just vets that were there, but for me it just like felt like very like kumbaya. It's like, come on, I want to see you guys fighting. I want to see you going at each other. And that was kind of like, just like everyone like friendly in a circle at a bonfire. It's, I don't care for it either.
Like, unless something happens, we don't need it. Nicole thoroughly enjoyed this ep and let out a phantom cackle more than once. Yes. Where'd you cackle, Nicole? I do want to know. Definitely, there was a couple moments that I had some smiles going on, especially when apparently Fessy isn't looking for love, but love seems to always find him. And so he carries Colleen into the room and they're giggling. And apparently Fessy said that she's a wifey type and they seem to have hooked up.
Yeah, they showed them hooking up. That's hookup points. They showed them in the bed. They saw the movement. There's hookup points for each of them for sure. Followed 5 moments later by Nerys and not Nerys. Olivia and Nelson obviously hooking up as well.
Mm-hmm. So Tori also says that she let Jordan kind of be in the bed because they're just cuddling. Is that true?
No way. They definitely hooked up also. No doubt in my mind they did not.
They didn't show it. So I feel like we can't count that one. I don't know. I'll count.
Yeah, we don't need to count it, but I bet that the reason they didn't show it is because they're like they don't want to like put Jordan and Tori like in a bad light, and they maybe like more shit goes down later in the season.
Well, yeah, because we see that Jordan's gonna have a thing with Nerys later.
But maybe it's because Tori's gone.
No, but it showed her getting mad though.
Oh,
upset.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I honestly, I kind of like forget a lot of stuff from the preview, but I never really trust the previews.
That's true.
Like she could be upset about something else, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then it like flips to Jordan.
And it didn't really show him and Nerys actually hooking up. It showed them like his arm around her or something. So it could have been like a moment. We don't know yet.
Okay, I'm not sure, but Nerys did have an Instagram live where she talks about like, ooh, I can't really talk that much about Nelson because like the season's not over yet, and like, but she had like a dinner that she arranged, and like she had Jordan was sitting on one side of her, and then she felt obligated to invite Johnny, and so she's like, I had Johnny and Jordan like sitting on either side of me at one point. And so, I don't know, it just seems like something maybe a little bit more than just an arm around the shoulder may happen in the season.
I will say, I did see today, Nerys had posted that she was hanging out with Jordan, or she had been hanging out with Jordan and Kyle. But that might have been an older picture, because I think Jordan is filming right now, I believe.
Yeah.
So it must have been an old picture, but I mean, definitely on good terms at least.
Yeah, but I mean, also like, I don't like him and Tori aren't. That's why I honestly don't know that they're hooking up. Like, maybe they are, maybe they were at that point, but I don't know. Like, because I do also understand the like comfort side of things for her and her feeling broken and having that kind of comfort, and that will equally make her hurt when he hooks up with someone else.
Yeah, no matter
regardless of whether they've hooked up or not, just because of I think no matter what, it's going to be that way. So like, I don't know.
So Nelson, we hear, doesn't want to win the daily, but he's worried that he'd be an option if he doesn't win. So that's what the play in the middle. These people play in the middle are always like, oh, I don't know what to do with power, and that's why he hasn't done better in the seasons. I believe is because he hasn't allowed himself to have power and know that you can follow through with your word and all these things that come with getting power and people wanting to work with you because they trust that you're going to have power in the future. So I do think that this is a good step in the right direction for him to potentially winning a season because he's starting to, have power and people can trust that he might be able to win again. So I think this is good for his future of the challenge for sure. So we're at the daily, and of course it's 300 feet in the air. Like, did they wait to bring Darrell on because it was a heights challenge?
Yeah, I would guess so. Yeah,
they're so wild. Thank you, Sophie, for the super chat. So Darrell was funny with the whole heights thing. I mean, he at least did it this time around because he usually quits. So, or not usually, at least the last time he quit.
Yeah, I was happy that he did it.
I loved TJ during this challenge, and like with calling out Darrell right off the bat. I think like TJ's really giving this season.
Yeah. I think it's because he has some of his friends on. Yeah. And I think he also likes these rookies. Like they're giving him something to talk about, Yeah. And so, yeah, I feel like he feels like he's old school back in the day where he's just like, it's kind of fun. So they're playing Hold On For Me, where basically one partner is holding onto a bar. The other partner has to wait until the partner holding onto the bar is fatigued, run and jump and grab onto them with that momentum, swing back and grab a flag. And so whoever has the fastest, holds on the longest and grabs the flag. I really thought that more people would get this. And I was surprised that a majority of the people DQ'd. Kenny and Casey, they DQ, but they also got a confessional, and like we hear like a little bit about their family life. I'm like, who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
And I was bored through the whole thing.
Lauren and Jack DQ, Darrell and Veronica. I was hoping that they're going to do well, but we do learn that Veronica can't jump. So she barely even made it to Darrell. How tall is she? I wonder.
She's so short.
Yeah, I think she's got to be like 5'2".
5'2"? That's so small. So yeah, they didn't even have a shot. Michelle has anxiety about being the jumper. They do DQ in the end. Chauncey hates heights. I'm like, Chauncey, you can't hate heights. You need to be like a really great all-around partner, or this isn't going to work for us. But they do end up DQing as well. Bananas and Nani also DQ. I'm just like, what's happening here with everybody DQing? But then Norris has the bright idea, go Aquarius, to have the women be the one that are holding the bar and having the men, because it will cause more of a momentum swinging back and forth. And so I thought that this was the choice strategy. Now, it seems like Anissa also had that same strategy. Do you think it's just because she's bigger and it would be harder for her to, I don't know, jump onto Jordan? Or do you think that they just had that thought?
I think also, I mean, Jordan only has one hand, so hanging.
Oh my God, of course.
It's going to be much tougher.
I literally forgot.
And also, like, he's so good at clinging to things and he's very, like, agile and will do a bigger run. So I think that they didn't think about it. I think they just thought about like, they'll have more momentum that way. And also the hand thing obviously is an issue.
I didn't even think about it because I don't think of him as not having it.
It's so easy to forget because he's so good at everything. Tori and Devin also had the same strategy. Tori was the one hanging and Devin was jumping, but they DQ'd as well.
Yeah. Nicole, Nani killed me with that comment. You just got there 10 minutes before, ma'am. Yeah, she did. Why she was saying that, I don't know. So Anissa does hang and Jordan does the jump, and they are the first team that gets the flag. So I thought that was pretty impressive. As you said, Tori and Devin DQ, and Fessy also just misses.
I was so happy when he missed. I was like, yes. Like,
yeah, I don't want to see him in power ever again. Never. So Kim thinks wants all the veterans to play hide and seek when he wins this daily. Did you guys think he was going to win?
No, I didn't, but I
No.
do have to say I love Kim and Colleen so much. I'm
Good.
thoroughly enjoying them this season. Just as like I said last week, like I feel like we're gonna blink and they're gonna be in like the final 8. They're they're just like such a cute pair, and like I loved when Kim kind of like peeked his head in when Colleen was with Fessy. I really loved them this whole episode. I think they're like a pleasant surprise considering 99% of people watching probably had no idea who either of them were coming into
Still
the
don't.
season.
I love them. I love their accents. And Kim is a great competitor and super tall.
And pretty good with confessionals.
Yeah.
And then you've got Colleen getting in with a showmance. She's solidifying herself as someone who will be invited back, right?
Kind of like Gabby was a little bit like, or I guess Gabby could have come back, but she didn't. But like, I think that she kind of.
I think she was invited though. She just chose
that's
not
what I'm
to.
saying. Yeah, like if she wanted to come back, I think Gabby would have had like an open door policy. So Tommy and Elise go, and Tommy, like they may have been able to grab that flag. He was holding on to it, and then Annalise runs, jumps, and he decides to like show show off that she caught him, but he didn't grab the flag. What the heck was that?
Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. I think like it must have just been like a brain fart there, because I mean he was very like he was being like the Tommy we see like dancing at the club. It's like, come on, dude, like you're in the middle of a challenge that you very easily could win. Everyone else is DQ'd.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 1 in 3 shot of winning here.
They could have won.
Yeah.
I thought that they had a really good chance of winning. And same with Kim and Colleen. They had a decent strategy because Kim was like, let me make the momentum go. She just ran and jumped at the completely wrong time.
Moment. I'm like, if she had caught him when he was like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then go all the way through, like it would have been, she would have been able to easily just reach out and grab that flag and it would have been game over. But that didn't happen. It wasn't really a great showing for Colleen, but we still love them. So Nelson and Nerys are going, and we got another chirp from the producers being like, is today the day you're going to win your first daily in however many episodes? And they do. I was like, I mean, I kind of called it. We all called it with like saying like it would be the type of challenge for them to win. And I was happy for him. Yeah. You were clearly happy for him, Matthew, changing your name down, your Chiron down there.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I loved seeing it. I loved his reaction afterwards. The whole house seemed to be kind of rooting him on as well. I think it was Devin or Bananas had screamed like, he finally did it. So obviously like the house knows that this is a thing. So I think the expression is curses are meant to be broken. So there we go. It's broken. Maybe he'll put up a winning streak now.
I don't know about that. Michelle, what do you think? Do you think Nelson's going to have a winning streak?
No.
I don't think so.
I think it was a moment in time that we will cherish
for another 54 challenges. Dailies. Yeah. Nicole says that whole Jarrell afraid of heights things gave me like 5 straight minutes of cackle. Tommy getting his Peter Pan on Broadway moment was another, and Kim's confessional about Fessy and Colleen dead. Those were all actually cackling moments. Thank you, Nicole. So Olivia and Horacio, I wasn't sure if they might beat out Nerys and Nelson, just because I thought that because of the episode title, as like it might be that they get the win, but no, they DQ. So it's going to be between Nelson and Nerys and Anissa and Jordan. But as I already said, Nelson and Nerys win, and I love that Nerys was there to help him get this win. She definitely said in her Instagram live that she had an amazing season and she would love to do it again. Like she's just super pumped about it, like having an awesome experience. So
she will 100% be back, I think.
Oh,
no doubt. Yeah.
She wants to be back 100%. She will be back. I'm wondering though if she does quite well though for the fact that she's so plussed about
She probably makes it like really close to the final. If she doesn't get to the final, she probably makes it very, very close.
It's honestly a shame that she has not been on the show for the last 5 years. It's like a huge oversight by casting. She was made for this show.
What is she from?
She's from Are You the One? And I think she was from what, season like 3 or 4?
Yeah, and then she was also on X on the Beach.
Yeah, so she's been around MTV for at least 5 years.
Yeah. I remember that now. Okay.
She's definitely a great piece. Apparently, though, she also said on this live that Deandra was I think she was part of the cast one season. I don't know if it was last season or the season before. And then she ended up being an alternate and then being like not on the show at all. So Deandra was in the mix. And so I'm sure it was kind of like one or the other, not both kind of thing.
I mean, I'm all for both of them coming.
Right? Why not?
If they do a ride or dies same-sex teams, bring them both on.
That would be really fun. They would probably do that. They're still roommates. They've been roommates for like 4 years, she said.
Wow, I love that.
They should. So apparently Nerys is a miracle worker, says TJ, for the fact that she has been the only partner that Nelson has had in 54 daily challenges to get him that W. So good on you, Nerys. I do agree you are a miracle worker because I wasn't sure if that was going to be a possibility. So Veronica expects Nelson and Nerys to throw them in. I thought that was also interesting. Like, I feel like they would be able to finesse Nelson. Like, Darrell knows Nelson, I thought. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
I mean, they played together 2 seasons ago now. Like, Darrell made it pretty far. Was it on Double Agents? Like, I feel like Darrell at least made it halfway through the game, and Nelson was there. Oh, maybe Nelson went early that season.
Is that when Fessy took him out? Was that Double Agents?
Yeah, maybe. I think Nelson did go out like week.
Yeah, they've never really worked together much, and I think they could have maybe done something, but I think coming in that late, Veronica didn't have enough time to finagle her way through. I think if it was like an extra round, like the next week, she could have done some damage and figured some stuff out for them. But Darrell has never been on top of that side of the strategy. Like, he's good at like laying back. He's good at making smart decisions when it comes down to it. Mm-hmm. But I don't find him to be a go-getter when it turns to like, let me save myself. I think he's just like, fuck it. I like eliminations. I'm not scared. And I'm not going to grovel to anybody. And like, it is what it is. So like, that's kind of his old school mentality about it.
Yeah, I wonder though, being with Veronica, if that will shift a little bit because she's
it will.
A political player, and she's going to be like, "Hey, man, we got to make the best decision for our game, and not like make people uncomfortable, make people not want to say your name, make people scared of you." Like, I think she's gonna take the reins in that department. So I'm interested to see how he will do with a partner that is a strategic player. Instead of, he seems to have partners that are usually quite passive. Like Amber, passive, just let them they just laid back. They did nothing. I can't remember other partners that he's had, but he just doesn't seem like, as you said, someone that's going to like steer his fate. He just kind of allows his fate to be whatever happens. Yeah. So Nelson obviously is very happy. He feels like a president. He feels like a king. He feels like he has so much power. He doesn't know what to do with it. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think he did well with his power, or not?
Honestly, sorry. I personally, for Nelson, was impressed. And I won't say that because it was exciting. It was not exciting, his decisions. But I expected him to make a stupid decision. Because I've never seen him in power like this, really. I expected him to like, okay, well, I'll save Olivia. I'll do this, and like throw in like maybe half and half, try to kind of appease all sides, and in the process, kind of screw himself over.
Yeah, piss everybody off.
I was like, there's no way this is going to go the way that they want. And honestly, it was Olivia being like, okay, fine, we're going to maybe do this. But the fact that he was like, I do have to put you in, like he did come to her with that. And the fact that he knew what he had to do and he stayed strong in his conversations with Nerys, I thought was impressive, because he's often really influenced by people around him. And so for him, I was like, good strategic move for you. You're going to protect yourself with the most amount of people for next week, so
And nobody's mad at you, really.
Nobody's mad at you. I think he made the right call for him. While it might not have been the most exciting, I expected him to do something so much
tank
worse.
it.
So yeah.
I think he expected to tank it too, to be honest. Because he's like, power. I can't have power. I'm playing the middle. I don't want to have power. So Nerys wants to put in 2 bets, and he actually is putting his foot down. He's not letting that happen. He's like, listen, like, we have to play this well. Like, I have these relationships. And she's like, well, I don't have these relationships. And she said, once I'm not connected to you, I have no security or no insurances. So that's where I was kind of like, wait, do they know that at one point they're going to be separated from their ride or die?
Yeah, I it's gonna happen at some point. I'm definitely dreading that point in the game because like if we're just gonna see the surviving rookies, like the rookies that survive because they have a vet partner, then get ostracized later on in the game. It's just like, what are we doing? But yeah, the fact that they aired that as well, it's like, okay, so we know something's gonna happen at some point.
I think maybe like there's a chance it'll be something a little different. Like, say maybe I'm just thinking about that moment with Bananas and Nani in the future where he's like, do we have to do this now on camera? I feel like, what if there's some sort of twist where it's like, if you gain power or if you win an elimination, kind of like a double agents moment, like you can take someone else's partner and kind of fuck something up, but that you will have a partner at the end, or they keep the partners, but in the end, it's kind of like are you really a ride or die? Who picks the money kind of vibes? And it becomes individual partway through or something. I don't know. I feel like it could go in one of those directions just to kind of play on the like, are they really a ride or die? But I do hope it's not, as you said, Matthew, like, oh, it's just now every man for themselves now, and now we can just pick them off. Like, that would be kind of predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we literally saw it last season, and it just led to like all the vets going to the end together. It was super boring to watch.
Especially with such a fun group of rookies. Like, I want to see them at least in the game and trying to influence in some sort of way. I do not want to see them be sitting ducks at all. So we'll see what happens, obviously. But I am worried that they're going to split up these pairs. I don't want it to happen. So we have our club night. We see Tommy doing a back handspring. Tommy and Annalise are talking to the rookie whisperer, Nani. And Nani's telling him that they need to go and kind of talk to Nelson and Nerys and like see if they can work something out, which is true. But Nani is really great at like making the rookies her friends. And so I like the fact that she was talking to Tommy and Annalise. Nelson and Nerys are talking to Olivia and Horacio. And this is where the plan of the episode kind of comes out. So Nelson is telling Olivia, even though we know that they just hooked up at the moment before, that he's probably going to have to put her in. And putting her in will appease the vets. And she comes up with the fact, like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take one for the team. If you can guarantee that both the other teams pick me, or we can obviously pick the safe dagger. And I didn't think that this was going to work. I was like, this is kind of like, Olivia, you shouldn't be volunteering yourself to go into this, because this could easily backfire. And the fact that Nelson went for it, I was like, I just was shocked all around by this being the plan. What were your thoughts, Matthew?
Yeah, I really never like volunteering to put yourself in danger. Obviously, like, they were going into it knowing Tommy and Annalise were going to be the team voted in. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you're in an elimination against the weakest team. But like, you never know. Like, you never know what the elimination is going to be. It could have been something strictly endurance. It could have been just a puzzle, and then like anyone can win. So I really don't like the idea of like putting yourself in danger. I wonder how much Olivia knows about Nelson and the show, like, coming into this. Because
nothing.
I think honestly, like, Nelson's the kind of guy where he is loyal to a fault. Like, we've seen that time after time. I wonder if Olivia said, like, please don't put me in, if Nelson still would have said, I have to put you in, because I honestly don't think he would have. I mean, we saw last year, even last season, everyone was going against Amanda, and Nelson refused to do it, even though he knew it was a sinking ship. So if Olivia says, don't put me in, Nelson would have put in another vet team, and then all of a sudden a vet team is at risk there. But obviously when Olivia is willing to do it and comes up with this plan, Nelson is going to be more than happy to follow through on it. But yeah, it makes you wonder, because Nelson's not the kind of guy that's going to go back on his word, which he alluded to tonight.
So Olivia is putting this master plan, because she doesn't want them to get any heat with the vets. And so I thought this was quite considerate, considering she's the one that's going to be potentially going into elimination, just to protect them from the vets. Like, anyways, she definitely handled it better than I would have with the person that I was hooking up with. I'd be effing pissed. So we see the deliberation about who they're going to be putting in. And so it looks like Darrell and Veronica are going to be on the button. Olivia and Horacio, as we know. Tommy and Annalise, basically Nelson is actually taking out Horacio and Olivia's nemesis at this point. So Tommy and Annalise, and Kim and Colleen will be the fourth people that they are going to be putting into the zone. So what's his name? Nelson wants Olivia and Horacio to make a deal with both of the other teams that are. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, it goes on with what you're saying. When Nelson was like, she got to make a deal with both teams. It's going to be so smart. I'm like, are you stupid? Oh, right, it's Nelson. Why are you trying to get her to do the exact thing that Tommy and Annalise did last week and got screwed from it?
Yeah.
And all I kept thinking was, what happens when Horacio and Olivia win the safe dagger? Because they're going to. Like, and I was really happy that they didn't make a deal with Kim and Colleen. Like, they were smart enough to be like, we'll make the deal with the other people because we know Kim and Colleen are going to save us over them, just because, like, even though we haven't talked much game, we're all rookies. They're going to assume we would do that.
Absolutely.
But we won't actually say the thing. That's how you play it. So when Nelson said that, I was like, she better be smart enough not to do that. I'm glad she was smart enough just to talk to Darrell and Veronica.
Definitely had the same thought as you. I was like, yeah, that's bad advice there. I see what you're doing, but it's bad advice to make deals with both of those teams, especially if you're going to screw one of them over.
Also, like, the whole point of, like, the plan in Nelson's mind was, I'm going to do this to, like, hide how close I am with Olivia, like, show that I'm willing to make this move. And then the whole time he's, like, telling the other teams, you got to save Olivia and Horacio. He's like openly cheering for them when they pull the safe sword. It's like, dude, if your plan was to, like, distance yourself, you're doing a horrible job at it.
Yeah, I got the same thought.
So that's, like, where, like, the Nelson that we know and love kind of comes in. Like, definitely not the mastermind, the president, the king. Honestly, I was hoping that Nelson would, like, make a non-optimal move. But I mean, Michelle, you alluded to it earlier. Like, he made, like, the best move that you could have made. It's, like, safest move, the most predictable, but that was also, like, the least Nelson move, which was like nice to see. Nelson 5 years ago would have, like, he would have put Bananas and Jordan and Darrell in. And I would have loved to see that.
He definitely kind of stated that he was going after the big dogs beforehand, but now he wants to play smarter. So I think if he plans on being on the show for more seasons, like, I think this is the better route for him to go, especially if he's going to be winning more. If he's winning more power and he is not necessarily ruffling feathers and being like a thorn in the vet's side, like, I think that, you know, he's going to be around for a lot longer, which gives him more opportunities to have that win.
Yeah, I just hate it because I know, like, without a doubt in my mind, like, the other vets will throw him in at some point. They don't care. Like, he's
but they'll throw in Amber before him.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, next, so next week there's going to be at least 2 vet teams that are put into the draw. Assuming that one of the rookies or Jay, Michelle, Amber, Chauncey don't win, I would imagine it's going to be those 4 teams in the draw. But after that, I mean, I could easily see Nelson as the next one, like maybe Darrell and Veronica. But I just know at some points, like Nelson's going to stay loyal. If he were to get into power again, he'd probably stick to the vets, and eventually they'll turn on him, and I'll be so sad because I love him and Nerys.
I mean, they are a great couple, for sure. I'm a little bit grossed out by his like, oh yeah, come back to daddy, like come back to me stuff with Olivia. I'm just not really into that.
The daddy stuff has to go. It's like first Devin was the daddy, now Nelson's the daddy, Olivia's the baby. It's all getting a little creepy.
I don't enjoy it so much. Bananas, when he sees the names that are going to be going into the zone, things like all this pillow talk, and he does this. So do you think that people really bought this? Because I didn't think that Olivia personally was doing a good acting job with like, yeah, I guess like, you know, it's a game. It's just a game. Like, I think she'd be, if she wasn't in on the plan, she would be a lot more hurt.
Well, I don't think that they assumed there was a plan, only because on the surface, the nature of this type of elimination is that it's always a risk. It's always going to be a risk if you're one of the 4.
Yeah.
So like knowing, they could just think like, okay, maybe she's not that upset because she knows they're not going to throw them in as the number 1 team, but there's always that risk that they'll get thrown in, especially with Darrell, Veronica. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like from the outside, I would just be like, no, she's taking it well because she's trying to show face that she's cool and chill. And like, also she is pretty cool and chill about stuff. Although I'm sure if she wasn't privy to this plan, she would have freaked out. Maybe, but I wouldn't have been like super, super sus of it because she's still in this vulnerable position.
Right.
Seemingly.
Yeah, I just feel like probably off screen, there must have been a moment where like Bananas goes up to Nelson and says like, hey, Nelson, like, why'd you put in Olivia? And Nelson like maybe tried to lie about it, but I feel like Bananas would be able to clock him pretty quickly after all these years.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I don't think, I mean, it didn't make air yet, but I don't think the vets would have bought this. Like Bananas, Devin, Anissa, like they're not buying this. They know Nelson.
But at least they know that he is willing to put her up before one of them. And that is the point. The point is not he's going to go against her. The point is, even though I'm trying to protect her as much as I can while still throwing her in, because you guys I still have your guys' back, and I still want to have this relationship with the vets. So like that's all he needed to show from it. So I think he succeeded with that.
Oh yeah, game wise, like great. It's great for him, especially in this like shorter term. But in terms of just like lying about the plan, like you're never getting away with lying. So I don't think Nelson is the actor that maybe he thinks he is.
No, not so much. We see Annalise and Tommy go in to talk to Nelson and Nerys, and Nelson's not really down with all the excuses that they're kind of giving. He, like most of us, wants them just to own this move. They did it for their own, game and just live with it. But they still don't. And they ask him, what are you guys thinking? And he's like, good luck tonight.
I like that.
Still cold.
But at least you can mentally prepare yourself,
That's true. So Olivia and Horacio, they're all kind of, having fun. They're just like handshakes, reaffirming being safe. It definitely, wait, I'm just lying. Sorry. Olivia and Horacio. Yeah, they did the handshakes. Was that right? Am I making this up?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Which I was like worried because I'm like, I don't know. We got Veronica going in there. Like, she might not buy into this because she'll know that Olivia and them are the better team. But then I guess also Tommy and Annalise aren't strong, so maybe they wouldn't want to rock the boat. But
yeah, I feel like Veronica, like from what we know of her, like if she saw an opportunity to like flip this on its head and it actually made sense, like she would definitely break her word. But knowing it's Tommy and Annalise makes it tough.
I stopped talking. I was like, right, them too.
if it was, say, like Johnny and Raven were still in, and then like she had a chance to break the word and throw in Horacio and Olivia, definitely she would have done it. Or if it was vet pairs they were turning on. But I believe she would have followed through in this specific case.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. So at this point though, I was thinking like, are they trying to snow Darrell and Veronica? Because Nelson is just like overselling it. Like, yeah, you got to talk to them, but like, don't talk to Horacio. Only talk to Olivia about this. Like, there's no plan going on. But you know what I mean? Like, I just thought that he was overselling that you should talk to Olivia, she's the leader of their team. Yeah, make sure you talk to them. So that's where I was kind of like wondering if Veronica was going to pick up on the fact that they really want her to talk to Olivia about like working together. Are they getting snowed? That was my thought for sure. So at this point, I was like, okay, Tommy and Annalise are going home. We see them outside having a heart-to-heart, talking about how much they loved each other. And I was like, okay, this is their goodbye episode, because they wouldn't be showing this if they were going to be triumphant, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Kim and Colleen, their joint confessional where they're talking about how they talk alike, and they finish each other's sentences, and they look like twins. They definitely are a fun new team. I don't think that they'll win, but they can come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I like him better than, like, say, Nom. You know what I mean? Like, even though I think Nom is very attractive and that he has a very good shot at maybe doing well, I think I'd rather see Kim back over Nom.
Kim's been more entertaining.
Definitely. Is it hurtful that I don't want Nom to come back over Kim, Michelle?
No, no. I just feel sad for Nom in the position that he's been put in time and time again. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it does suck for him. So I'm sad for him, but like that's no hate on Kim, because I think Kim has shown more personality.
Mm-hmm. So Diana says, I think Olivia pitched one of the best moves a rookie has done in a few seasons. Do we agree or disagree?
I wouldn't say one of the best, but I mean, I definitely appreciate her pitching a move, because a lot of the times rookies just kind of stay still and they don't try to make moves at all. So the fact that she was at least trying something, and it was kind of out of left field, I definitely appreciated it. And I think Olivia is like adding a lot to the season. I'd say, in my opinion, the best move from a rookie was probably Priscilla last year, kind of breaking up the vet alliance. So I definitely preferred that. But the fact that Olivia is making moves and like isn't playing scared it's a nice treat for especially a rookie coming from a Love show. Honestly, like we saw in the Challenge USA, like a lot of the Love Island girls didn't really do much strategically. So the fact that Olivia is willing to play and is physical as well, it's a nice treat here.
Definitely. Super Duper Man says, Nom is like the word fetch. We got to stop trying to make it happen. Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's done for them. Willie is agreeing with us though. Kim and Colleen are an entertaining team.
Love them.
Kim broke out in the confessionals this episode. I love the commentary. Yeah, the commentary was really fun. And Nicole enjoys his golden tresses. So we're down at the zone, and we know this. Tommy and Annalise are going to be going directly in. Veronica and Darrell pull a blank dagger. Olivia pulls the safe dagger. So she didn't even need to make any deals.
But it's perfect that she did, because they were able to show that like we made a deal. We're with our word. And as Darrell said, Darrell doesn't forget when people do that for him. And he will be like, I owe them one. At least one. I owe them an opportunity. And more than likely, they're going to be down there again. Together. So it's like, it's good to have made that connection.
Is Olivia the greatest of all? It's the greatest of all time? Should we GOAT of the Love Island cast?
I mean, come on. We can't, it's too early to say that, because, there's people like Justine and people who've, been epic as a whole. But from what she's done so far, I mean, she's definitely up there for me. I love to see what she does every week. She's entertaining. She's got hookups. She's got eliminations under her belt. She's got some strategic moves. Like, she's doing all the things. So I'm into it.
I think she's the best combination of like competitor and entertainment for sure.
Yeah, Justine does great confessionals. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Justine like was great competitor. Shannon and Cache were great confessionalists, not as great competitors. But Olivia is a good combination of both. So I mean, if she keeps this up for say 3 more episodes, I could easily see her being the top. But a little bit of danger in the next couple weeks. But I think she can push through it.
She's definitely solidifying herself into the challenge world. Like, I do not see a universe where she doesn't come back again and again.
Yeah.
I think she's in. Like, she's done it.
It's funny though. It's like I thought the same about so many rookies last year, and then Michelle is the only one that comes back.
I mean, I feel like she's proving more though. I don't know. I agree with you that like I thought quite a few would come back, but I don't know. I just feel like the episode titles and like it's all been about her journey so far. So it's just been, and she's been coming through. Like we've seen like Jay, like it's about his story and he's being thrown in all the time and then he goes home. She hasn't gone home yet. So I just feel like right now the season's about them.
Oh yeah. Ultimately, I'd say like 98% that she's back. I get scared because like sometimes I just don't know what casting is doing. That's bringing true. All these rookies and then we never see them again.
That's true.
Like let these stories build.
Please.
We don't need to see like we can take a break from Casey for one season.
We thought we were going to, seasons. And then they're like, "Oh no, well, we're gonna bring her back."
Yeah, and it's even like the vets. Like sometimes it's nice when you get a break, and then when they do return, it's like that much more impactful. So I hope they don't lose sight of that and just like bring in 15 new rookies next year instead of like utilizing some of these good ones from the last.
They better not start from scratch again.
Yeah.
Better not. So Nicole, another cackle moment when Kim was like, "Is this all I have to do? Just hold on to this rope?" He's so good. So what's his name? Nelson says, "My baby Olivia pulled the safe dagger." He's so cringe.
Yeah.
Why are they making you do that in the confessional, Nelson?
Yeah, he's got to be the like favorite of producers where he'll say whatever you want. He'll be like very dramatic and energetic. Meanwhile, you get like Fessel and Casey in confessionals and they're so dry and like no entertainment at all. At least Nelson will like try to give something, even if it is very cringeworthy.
So cringe. Diane says nothing against Priscilla, just saying that Olivia's move was more successful and creative. Yeah, and someone else was saying that backed up by eliminations. I think that's also like if Priscilla had stayed and like was able to continue making damage, like maybe then she would be, in my eyes, like as strong as Olivia is right now.
Yeah.
Because Olivia just keeps on winning, going down into the zone.
Yeah,
however it may be.
I'd say like, I mean, we don't know how this is going to impact Olivia the next couple weeks. So I guess it TBD. But yeah, I mean, if this gets her into a better position, like definitely we'll look at it as a better move.
What do you guys think about having a flashback scene? They don't usually do that. We see a flashback of Olivia talking to.
They've been doing it every once in a while now.
Veronica.
They did in the USA a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did in USA. That's true.
I didn't mind it here. It's like a little like tidbit. It wasn't like anything major. It didn't really matter too much. Like we kind of had it hinted to us earlier in the episode. So I liked them actually showing it.
And also I was like, you know what? Like they're going to show it because there's no way Veronica didn't talk to them. Especially since Nelly was like, talk to them specifically. They knew, okay, if we talk to Kim and Colleen, it's not going to do anything anyway. There's no point in that. Let's put our eggs in this basket. Hope that one of our two teams gets the thing. If not, at least we're going against Tommy and Annalise.
Absolutely.
We're stronger than them. We can probably beat them, which any team obviously would have beat them. So,
yeah. Any team. Oh, brutal. So I wonder if Nicole cackled when we hear that coming down into the zone is like visiting grandma on a Sunday, because TJ definitely cackled for that one from Kim.
I definitely did too. That was my favorite line of the episode.
Favorite of the episode. Yeah. Okay. So they're going to be playing Flipping Wasted. And basically, one of the partners, so it was Annalise and Colleen, were laying down on a board, or attached to it anyways, in mud or like muddy water, where their partner has to pull a rope to pull up the board that they are lying on. And when they're upright, they're able to solve a puzzle. What do you guys think of this elimination?
I mean, I thought it could have been good, but the fact that we got the pairings we got just like made for a horrible elimination to watch. I mean, it was obvious right after 5 seconds who was going to win. And from what I noticed, and let me know if you guys saw the same thing, but I think the elimination must have been way quicker than it appeared on TV, because it showed Tommy having that same like spin fall off the platform like 5 times. And it was like, okay, they're literally replaying him falling the exact same way over and over
really
again.
fast.
To the point that I was like, why is he doing the same thing?
No, it was like literally.
Why is he not trying something new?
And he's like doing like
time.
Doing like a little arabesque every single time. I was like, this is the same footage.
So they made it seem like Colleen was like struggling a bit with the puzzle. I bet like it was done in like 2 minutes, and like they just had to kind of draw it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because like TJ said, like you went up against a monster, and it's like, from what they showed us, it wasn't a monster. But if it was as fast as it probably was, like that's pretty monster-esque,
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Michelle. I felt really awful watching this elimination. Like he was trying so hard. He wasn't like, everybody that was in the stands were just like, they just didn't feel good about this one. And whatever, props to Kim and Colleen. They made it happen. She did her part, got the puzzle. He pulled her up. But it just was really awful to watch.
It would have been nice if he had gotten her up at some point. Even if they lost, at least then it would have felt less like sad.
Yeah, it was. I had that in my notes too. I'm like, this is like very sad to watch, very hard to watch. And we saw like the first few weeks of the season, like they were struggling with the fact that like nobody took them seriously. Like they're obviously very small compared to everyone else. Like specifically Tommy he's got to be a foot shorter than half the men on the cast.
But at least Kim seems actually quite tall.
Yeah, like a lot of these, like, I mean, he's got to be 5'5" or whatever. But yeah, it's like very sad to watch him like struggling like that. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like sometimes that just kind of happens and it sucks.
Well, didn't they get people of all different heights to test out this challenge? Because it seems like he couldn't get the proper stance or leverage to be able to pull it. I'm not exactly sure why what he was doing wasn't working, like why he couldn't just plant his feet and just pull or copy what Kim was doing, because what Kim was doing was working and what you have been doing, Tommy, was not. So I just didn't understand why he wasn't trying what Kim was doing, because I feel like what would happen, if I just kind of imagine it, like if you keep on holding it and pulling it, eventually it would kind of move up. And I think he was trying to like jerk it, but you kind of had to allow it to bend forward. And I don't think he ever let it get to the part where it would actually start moving up. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just like a point that he never allowed the pull to
get. I wanted him to squat or like bend his knees way deeper and just hold it. And then slowly try to lean his body weight back.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know.
Practice. That's the thing. We don't really know what it was like, but
yeah. And that's another reason why I think it might have been much quicker than we thought. Like maybe he just didn't have the time to like figure it out. But yeah, I honestly, like, I felt really bad for him. Obviously, like I'm sure it was embarrassing for him. Like not like he obviously felt really bad that he kind of ruined Annalise's shot here. I feel like a little bad for her. I mean, she didn't do anything really wrong here, but kind of sucks. I mean, I'm not upset that they're gone. I think it's probably best for like the game that they leave here, but sad. It was
I kind
depressing
of
to watch.
wish, since it's a ride or die season, that the pairs both had equal like parts in these eliminations, like the fact that it was all on him just to get her up so she could do the puzzle. Like, I wish there was something more that she could have done to be able to work together a little bit more, because like it just sucks that he's going up against all like the Fessies of the world, and like he's body mass wise and height wise, he just doesn't match up. So it just kind of sucks that they couldn't use both of them together to be able to do something, because I think they might have been more successful working together as a pair as opposed to him competing against other men in the game.
For sure. And it made me think, like, do you remember the challenge, I think in Final Reckoning, when it was Polly and Natalie against Tony and Bananas, where it was like you ate the food and then once you're done, the other person has to start holding the barrel. They could have done something like that where it's like one partner does the puzzle and then you like hold your weight or whatever. The other team has to hold their weight for a little bit longer if the other partner finishes the puzzle first. Something like that, I think, would be much more interesting than just, all right, Kim is much taller and much stronger than Tommy, so he's going to be at a massive advantage here. I agree. Like, I never like those. There's plenty of things they could do that are better.
And like, even with this challenge, they could have probably done something, like maybe if she was solving it while she's laying down, like it would make it a little bit lighter every time she, maybe she has to keep solving puzzles, and you know what I mean, and then be able to like lift it more easily. I don't know. I don't know what they could have done, but I just thought that it wasn't balanced, and when things aren't balanced, we don't enjoy it. That's why we don't like Hall Brawl, is because it's usually unbalanced, and if there's somebody really tall going against somebody really small, it just doesn't feel right to see the win happen. So
yeah,
I don't know why they don't get that. Like, there's weight classes for a reason, but they didn't care. Tommy is done. He is crying and apologizing, of course, to Annalise. TJ does seem to give a lot of appreciation and respect to Tommy, even though he wasn't successful, and love the fact that he was crying because he wanted to be there and do well so badly. So TJ gave him some props there. But yeah, as he also said, he went up against a monster, which is Kim. We see in the outro that Olivia says, "If you lie, you're gone."
You're gone.
I wonder if that is going to be true. And also, now Kim and Colleen want revenge. So that's pretty much it for the episode. Who is our MVP? I guess it's got to be Olivia.
I was saying, yeah, it's got to be Olivia or Nelson. And Olivia, in my opinion, was smarter in her choices than Nelson. Nelson does have a plus because he actually won the daily. And I feel like it needs to be acknowledged that he finally won a daily.
Yeah.
But he wins MVP for other reasons sometimes. Like, so like, I don't know. I could go either direction with the two of them. I think they both did well. I like that Olivia didn't have to really do anything and didn't like perform physically crazy well, but she made good choices. She had some really great screen time, some good confessionals, some ferocity, a hookup. So she had a good episode. I don't know. I could go either way.
I think that Matthew's going to go scuba.
I mean, it's been 8 seasons.
Nelly, Mastermind MVP.
He might not win another daily for another 8 to 10
you know
seasons.
what?
Let's give him. Let's give
it to him.
Okay, Nelly. Nelly gets the Mastermind MVP.
Olivia will win plenty of dailies over the next 8 seasons. Nelson might not. So unless they do an X's and they're together.
Ooh, do you think they're already broken up?
I don't think they're together.
Yeah, it'll be like a stretch X's.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you guys think. If you had to guess right now, do you think next week's elimination will be Colleen and Kim against Horacio and Olivia? Or do you think we'll get a shakeup?
Well, I think we're going to get a shakeup because the preview showed a lot of drama between Laurel and Michelle. And I think if I had to guess right now, I think that Michelle and Jay are going to win the daily, maybe.
Oh, I would love that.
And I think
Wait,
that
so Jay and Michelle? Mhm.
that's my guess. If I had to make a prediction, not knowing anything, my prediction is that Jay and Michelle win the daily. They're coming up with reasons and stuff to like be able to throw in as many vets as they can and try to cover their bases. And so drama erupts because Laurel and Jack are probably are in the consideration, if not get picked as one of the 4 or something. So maybe there's drama related to that. Yeah, that would be my guess. And so I don't know. I think Kim and Colleen will always be like a throw-in, but there's so
Mhm.
many chances for them to get the safe thing that it's kind of like we'll see what happens with them. But I don't know.
I think the problem is like if Jay and Michelle were to win, I think you have to just go all 4 vets. Like
You have to.
you can't
Yeah.
put in Kim and Colleen because then all the vets are gonna put them in as one.
Well, it'd be so easy because like here they can put in Bananas and Nani just as like you guys put me in, so I kind of have to throw you in. Like it's sorry, but like I'll try to help you guys and give you other people that you can whatever that will save you. And then maybe we'll pick friends of them to be like, oh, you can save each other or try something like that. And then they'll put in like Laurel and Jack as like another team that maybe they don't feel as connected with or whatever. But I agree with you. They're not going to throw in rookies, not after they've spent this whole time building up this like rookie side of things. I don't think they're going to throw in any of those teams. No Amber, no Kim Colleen, no Horacio. I think that they will get a pass that week, next week, if it does happen that way.
So who do you think would be the target if like Jay, Michelle, Amber, Chauncey, or one of the rookie teams won? Like who do you think they would be? They would be the team going into elimination automatically.
Honestly, I could see them throwing in like a Jordan and Anissa
Mm.
because they were a
don't
little
know
bit
them.
later and because they feel they might. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know why I say that. I think I just say that because
They don't know them very well.
They don't know
And
them
like
as
Jordan
well.
is like a super threatening player.
He's a threatening player. You know, maybe it's like a bit of an. They might think that it might be easier to beat them in an elimination, which is a mistake, of course. But like maybe, so I could see them throwing them in. I don't know who their actual target would be. But I could see them as an option. I don't think they'll throw in Bananas and Nani as like the option
Me
because
neither.
they'll come back. But I think they'll put them as one of the 4.
Yeah. I guess like Casey like could end up there with Kenny.
Ooh,
as
yeah,
well.
get rid of her. Sorry, Casey.
Oh yeah, put in Casey and Kenny, Bananas, Banani,
Banani.
and then
Laurel,
put in
and then Jordan
Laurel,
and
and then
Anissa.
Jordan and Anissa.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, and then their target
That's
is
scary, but I'm into it in a way because it's dramatic.
I agree. I could see Jordan and Anissa being a target. The only thing is like Anissa's very well connected. So you're going to upset a lot of people. Jordan's less connected, but scary. But I don't think Jay and Michelle, I don't think they care to put a target on themselves. I think they'll make a big move.
yeah.
They have a
Amber as
target
well.
on
Like,
themselves regardless.
I
Like
think
they
if
know
Amber won, she would probably put in Fessy,
that.
which would be awesome too.
Yeah.
Think
But
she still would
it's-
do it?
I think so, yeah. Because she's not going to put in the rookies, so
You don't think Amber, even though she has the rookie alliance? Oh, wait, sorry, yeah.
she
No,
would
but
keep
like,
the rookies safe.
I mean, like Mariah would be is not part of like that rookies, like want
Oh,
to keep the rookies safe type thing.
No, because Mariah the week prior put in all rookies with Fessy.
Right.
But if the vet side wins, I mean, obviously they're going to target Horacio and Olivia, I would imagine, as the main target. And then it'll be interesting to see if like the second team they plan to get in is Kim and Colleen. I personally think they would probably want Jay and Michelle in instead. Jay and Michelle against Horacio and Olivia if that side wins, which would not be fun for the fans.
Oh, that'd be brutal. So Nicole, there is a world where 4 teams could be up for elimination. If most likely if Michelle and Jay win the daily next week. So we can hope. I would love to see it. Like, let's see these vets sweat a little bit.
Yeah.
That would be nice, to be honest.
And it looked like from the preview that it's some sort of swimming daily.
Okay.
I don't know really who's a great swimmer. I mean, Jordan's obviously a great swimmer.
Mm-hmm. Anissa actually is an okay swimmer, but I don't know if she's a little bit out of shape right now. So I don't know if she's going to be able to be that well, but she is a good swimmer.
I just feel like Kim's a good swimmer. You
Yeah.
know Horacio's a good swimmer. You can just
Oh yeah,
tell.
yeah.
And Olivia's
Horacio
probably a decent swimmer.
Yes, Bananas is like a medium good swimmer.
Is a decent swimmer too.
Not West, but he's good.
I feel like Jay and Michelle are good swimmers
Jay's
too.
yeah, they're both good swimmers. I mean, you come from Survivor, you got to be a better
and Jay,
swimmer.
doesn't he surf, or am I making that up?
I feel like probably.
Yeah, he probably does. But I remember last season, Michelle and Corey Lay like came in second in that like choppy swim challenge. Like they
Yeah.
lost by
But
like a few
didn't-
seconds.
Didn't Devin and Tori win that one? Or am I thinking of the wrong challenge?
No, Devin and
I think you're
Tori
thinking
won
of
like
the one where they had to
yeah, they did the GoPros.
the GoPro thing that no one could figure out except for Tori and Devin.
No, sorry, I'm thinking. It was Tori and somebody else.
Oh,
Maybe it
Tori
was
won.
Huey?
No,
Huey,
was it
Tori.
Tori and Kells? Were they partners? No.
I'm just thinking about when they were like they had to do something on like it was like really like choppy water.
Yeah.
And like
yeah,
they had
Tori won
to-
it with someone. I can't. Maybe it was Huey and Tori. It wasn't. I know it wasn't Devin.
It
but
wasn't
Tori
Devin.
did
It
win
wasn't Devin. I know the one
And-
you're talking about. Devin was the drone one.
Yeah, so Michelle, I think if it's like actually a swim challenge and it's like speed of swim, yeah, I think we could be looking at Michelle, Jay, Anissa, Jordan. Who else did we say was a good swimmer?
Nani.
Is Nani a good swimmer?
I feel like she's always been okay. Oh, it was Ed and Tori. Yes, Willie.
Ed, right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willie.
You.
And then Ed's another guy we could see. I think we'd see Ed back before Tommy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at Michelle accidentally coming up with a team name for Bananas and Nani. Thereby will be they called themselves in
They
the
are
episode.
known. Yeah.
Their first episode coming back, so episode
but
2.
I will take
guess.
all the credit. I
Yes.
will take all the credit. But
Banani.
they call themselves Banani sometimes.
So,
But that was an accident when I said it. but-
I like Banani. I still do. The last thing I wanted to say is, since when does Jordan love Tommy? And he had like a full on like long ass confessional about
he
it.
was also just like Jordan's outfit at the elimination, like the scarf, like all of it. Jordan is trying to
Trolling.
be the most likable edit ever right now, and that's what that is. They're gonna show him talking so good about everybody. They're showing that he's a changed man. Like this is the narrative, so that's why that came up, I think.
Hilarious.
100%, yeah. And the whole episode, Jordan's like, Anissa, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. Like kissing her on the cheek. Like, come on, Jordan.
She literally hung there.
Yeah,
Like, good job. I'm happy for her, but like,
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens when like they start to struggle, and then it's like, is Jordan gonna lose his cool? Is he still gonna keep up like the good guy shtick?
I don't think. Well, I don't know if he's here to win, so
Yeah.
it might be fine, right?
yeah, that's what I
Like
think.
he might be there to maybe help Tori win or help Anissa win, but I don't feel like he's there to win himself. So it might work out in the end. Like he might nothing might phase him because he doesn't care that much. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it for the episode. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you guys wanted to talk about?
No,
I don't think so. I think
excited,
it's getting amped up after this week. So
yeah, just the fact that like next week there has to be at least two vets in the draw. It makes for things. It makes for a much more exciting kind of exciting pace. Yeah, exciting middle game.
I agree. Well, thank you both for being here to chat about this episode. And everybody here in the chat, you guys are the best. You guys always know all the tea and information. So appreciate all of you. If you haven't done so already, can you please subscribe to the channel and like this video and let us know which vet do you think might win a swimming daily, and who do you think would be their target? And then I want to see the same for the rookies, like which rookie team or like not vet team do you think might win the daily, and who do you think they would target? I just kind of want to get a feel for how we think everybody's strengths are. So that's pretty much it, y'all. We'll see you next week. Bye.